Okay, hello. Back with another one, and we're starting off with Back to the Future, I guess. I don't really know what I'm doing on this decode. Before I get into the decode proper, because I want to talk about the Flying Scotsman. Oh, hang on a minute. There's another reference right here before I even get into it. This train is flying. Flying Scotsman. Interesting again. The guy that says Great Scott an awful lot as well. I tell you what, you're gonna be there's some references in this video, I tell you. But before I get started, okay, I'd love to know if anybody is watching this that has high definition capability. I'm thinking maybe Finis Temporis 88. If you're watching this, I don't know why I keep saying that back to front, but if you're watching this, or anybody else for that matter that can pick up, see where my cursor is. I'd love to know what that symbol is in the middle of this, in the middle of the, I don't know what you call that, I don't know what you even call that, the blooming, I don't know, what do they call that? The access for the tubes in the boiler. I don't know what you call this, the front boiler cover access, I don't know, tube access. But anyway, right here, okay, we got the Mickey Mouse ears and the flux capacitor up here, but I'd love to know what this is, what number or symbol that is. Anyway, completely sidetracked already. What we're going to be talking about is, again, we're going back to the trains, the train idea, and the amount of stuff in film with trains. Now, of course, there's going to be a lot of stuff with trains in films because of the fact that basically anything in Hollywood that you can blow up, they're going to have it in a film somewhere getting blown up a number of times, you know, whether it be trains, planes, or automobiles. It's going to be one of those things, isn't it? But there's some really nice little connections now with a train called the Flying Scotsman, okay? A very famous train service in England, and also with this thing that I reheard on the radio this morning, mentioning about the Golden Spike promontory, or whatever the hell that place is called, point, where the two trains, the Jupiter, okay, and the 119 train come together and face off, and that point in the when the transcontinental railroad is completed. Okay, so we're back to a video that I've talked about this last year. You can go find the video, I'm sure, in my back catalogue. But we're talking about this train, 119, and this train, Jupiter. And I talked about how that ties in with the Back to the Future train, and of course with the 119, the Twin Towers, and the different shapes of the funnels, and all this stuff, and the different colours that are on the trains. Anyway, that video's already been done, but what I'd forgotten about was the final golden spike was inserted it was inserted into the I think it was they used a laurel wood railroad tie. I can't remember. I haven't reread. I should have reread all this, but I just went so mental when you see this next clip that I'm going to show you. I just went so mental that I was like, I can't even be bothered to spend the time to reread any of this. But I think it was a laurel wood, like we have the laurel leaf symbolism on the dollar bill. I think it was a laurel tie or railroad sleeper that they drove the spike into. Anyway, the original spike's got the wrong date on it. This is what transpires, is the ceremony was supposed to be on the 8th, bad weather, they did it on the 10th, okay? So this connects right in with our, our 5-9, which nothing happened yesterday. If something was gonna transpire on 5-9, I would have expected it to have happened in the middle of the night, between going from 5-9 to 5-10, was kind of what I was thinking. but nothing did happen with the Hoover Dam on that date. But what is interesting is, again, we have this sort of delay. We have a 3-day delay here with this thing. Obviously, the 8th original date to the 10th we'll leave that 9th open as a reference. But yeah, I don't know what this truly means, although we are on, numerologically speaking, a day that fits in with May Day, because it's 5/10 today. Okay, and we just dropped that 0 off. It's a 5/1. It's May Day. So I was kind of like, well, when they said about this again on the radio this morning, I was like, oh, you know what? I ought to just look at that. And then this morning while I was having my breakfast, I clicked on a video. I was like, I was trying to find what I just showed you was the number on. I just for some reason thought, I wonder what that number is on the front of that track, because I never really, because I was thinking about the 131 number, okay, which the 131 is tomorrow, okay. Here we are in May on the calendar, and 131 is tomorrow, and it's remember the 5th of November tomorrow, okay, 5/11, but we've just got it with the May date instead, okay. Instead of the 5th of November, it's the 11th of May, okay? But that's our 131 that's on the train that goes over into the canyon, okay, in Back to the Future. And I was like, I wonder what that is on that train of Doc's when he comes back. So anyway, I couldn't figure that out, but in doing that, just went down another rabbit hole with this whole thing, because I found a guy, let me go to it now, and he's got top 21 best train crashes, and he's got a whole bunch of them in here. If we go through some of these, like the Lone Ranger I haven't seen, but we're going to go to that next, because this is the thing that really set me off, was this Lone Ranger thing. So we'll go to that one in a minute. Under Siege, Red Tails, some of these films I haven't seen. Wanted with Angelina Jolie. That train crash scene reminded me of the Viant Dam, okay? Something that I've talked about in much older videos. There is a bridge in front of that dam that collapsed, and that bridge, I believe they must have remodeled the bridge, or maybe they didn't, and maybe I'm thinking of a different bridge. But just the way that train bridge was between the two canyons there, it just reminded me of that dam so much. And again, there's a ton of symbolism with that whole thing with the Viant that connects back to the Hoover Dam. Okay, so I might be going over some people's heads with these references right now, but I can assure you, it's all, if you really want to dig on this, it's in the back catalogue, and you can just go look at my stuff, and it's all there. The Fugitive, I'd forgotten about that one, where the bus, when they're escaping, the bus rolls down the hill and then gets hit by a train. Final Destination 3, I haven't seen that film. Broken Arrow. I mean, there's a whole bunch of them in here. Some of them I've seen, some of them I haven't. That he's got one of the Back to the Future. He's got the canyon scene with the 131 train going over blowing up in the bottom of the canyon. Batman Begins. I don't think I've even seen Batman Begins. Die Hard 3. I've seen that. Speed, of course. Speed is a good one, because Speed even has the 13 on the top of the train with the arrow, and no doubt it has a red arrow, just like I've got it here, with the number 13. Okay, so this is, in Speed, that's a really good reference to what's going on. And then it crashes, comes back up out of the ground, that's a tube train, and it comes back up out of the ground through what looks like, they've got this big screened off area where they're doing work, and the screened off area looks like it could be a reference to the dam. It's got 5 palm trees on it, a 203 in the front of it, and again, 203, 6/11, the 11th of June is the 203rd day of the year. It's a reverse 9/11. Interesting with Speed as well, and having that 13 on the top of the train, Again, sorry if new people, if you're new here and you're seeing me referring to this chart now, just go watch this video up here. It'll tell you what this is all about. Okay, don't have time to explain. Okay, let's go back to this. What else was in here? But there's a whole bunch of stuff. So if you can go top, it's the top 21 best train crashes from movies. Can you name them all? It's by Angry Dad Gameplay. Thank you for doing this video. And I'm going to show you something out of that now with this. Let me see. Oh yeah. And of course, what would it be without mentioning Madonna? With Who's That Girl? With this blooming scene, okay, which ties back to the Future. Just prior to this, we have that same coloured train coming through and smashing up the DeLorean. And then previous to that, we've had the 131 train. So, I mean, it's super important that they put these trains in here. And we'll get onto the root of the decode here in a minute. But let me find... Let's see where I've got it. No. Here we go. Okay. We've got a scene here in the Lone Ranger. It's supposedly the final scene. But I want to show you. And it was actually, he actually has this in that. But this train is coming off of here, right? Off of the tracks. You really need to go and just Google, look up this train scene in that's my video. Well, that's the Swarm I never talked about the other day. Ooh, I'll have to go back to that sometime. Hang on a minute, because I'm not doing any I thought I had this up here. Anyway, let's go back to this one because it's in this piece of footage here. Let me show you this. This is absolutely flipping crazy, I'll tell you what. Okay, note that the train that's about to crash is TCRR. I hope I'm getting that right. But what I spotted was TCRR on the side of the train. You can confirm if that's right or not. And TCRR, before we go any further, TCRR in the Gemartrinator, 59, 23, 49, and 31, okay? But primarily the 59 is what we're looking at, okay? So, let's see. So, oh God, get right to the right one, Dan. So this is the train that's about to crash, and it's actually number 148, which will be important here in a minute. No, we're back on a different one there, hang on. So we're merging into this, let me see. Okay, come on, baby. Let's get to the right spot here. Okay, it's right before this. Okay, so the first thing is we have this. This gets... Okay, we got a number on the side of this, which I couldn't make out very good. Somebody else could get the number, it'd be great. So this thing gets smashed up. Okay, so there's our first reference to, like, going through the wall. Okay, through the damn wall. There's that TCRR. And I'll probably re-look at this and maybe do another video on it. This thing's about to go over. This thing's blowing up right now. Okay, this is the way I want to get to. Now, if that doesn't look like a dam, this bridge that's going across the canyon here, I'm guessing they've just blown it up in order to stop this train. I'm going to go watch the film at some point, but I probably won't have time for a few days. So there's the dam blowing up right there, the reference to the dam blowing up. And here's the scene with this train going over the edge here. And here it goes. And I'm pretty sure I don't know actually. Actually, I'll take that back because I don't know if that is actually the Jupiter train or the 118, not 118 train, the 148 train. Those are the two trains that are involved in the thing. This here, Johnny Depp was on, I'm pretty sure. I've really got to go watch the film and sort out what's going on. I think this is the 148 train, maybe, and that was maybe the Jupiter that just went over the edge. Okay, so either way, depending on the way you want to think about that thing, again, you could look at that as a rebaptism, i.e. going back into the dam blowing, and that train is now, rebaptized at the bottom of the canyon there. So it depends on which train went in there. I don't know as to which way you would think about that story. But the other train, let me see. Let me show you the other train. Let me show you the two trains, actually, because we can see them at the start of this. I want to. Why am I? I could have said that I had. I could have sworn I had that other scene up, though. That was the thing. This is what's nuts about this. I seem to have lost that. Let me press back on this and see if that takes me to the other. Here it is. Okay. Jupiter. Okay. Jupiter. We couldn't get any better of a reference to the whole Golden Spike ceremony, May the 10th, today, as this, and then having that scene with that dam break. Well, it's not a dam, it's a bridge, but it looks like a dam. Okay? And let me show you the other train, just so you can get a good look at it. So this, to me, is like the sun. Okay, and it is I'm pretty sure I could make out that red bit on the side of the tender as it went over. So I'm guessing that was, and here's the other train, but you can't make it out very well, but I'm pretty sure it's a 148, and it's, of course, it's black and silver. So it's interesting that train didn't go over. What does that mean? Well, it depends how you interpret the story, doesn't it? And it depends a little bit. I don't have the full context of what's going on here. So again, but I would say it's the baptism there of the rebirth again, the idea of being rebaptized. Okay, so that is pretty interesting. So that was what set me going, was seeing that blooming dam scene there. I mean, to me, you can't. I mean, that to me is just absolutely nuts. Absolutely blooming nuts. I don't, I mean, it'd be really interesting to actually watch the film to see what the references really are. But if that don't look like a dam going across the canyon there, and then the man is going in, Jupiter's going into the water for a baptism, mental. But what was I talking about? The Flying Scotsman at the start of this blooming thing. And so I was like, let me go to it, right? Because the Flying Scotsman, there's two. The thing about the Flying Scotsman, right? The first thing is it's actually a train service. Okay, that's the first thing to note about the Flying Scotsman. And then what they ended up doing is, I believe they ended up naming one of the locomotives that used to pull the train on that service. Okay, they end up calling the locomotive the Flying Scotsman as well. Okay, so of course you've got two Wikipedia pages here, one for the actual locomotive, okay, which you'll recognize because it looks a lot like the Harry Potter train. Okay, again, another reference in, there's tons of train references in films that don't necessarily end up in a crash as well. that we could start thinking about as well for references. But this is going from, of course, somewhere. Where is it going? King's Cross, of course, up to Edinburgh. Okay. Now, what do I want to say about the whole thing? It used to be called, before they called it I read in here somewhere, before they renamed it the Flying Scotsman Service, it was I guess it's 10 o'clock Special Scotch Express linking. Well, I just guess they just called it the 10 o'clock Special Scotch Express, if I could talk. It's interesting. It took on its nickname basically, which was the Flying Scotsman. Okay, was basically what it's saying here. But there's been two that I can find. There's been two crashes, at least two derailments that show up to do with the Flying Scotsman. Okay, and one in Wikipedia says the 11th of May. Okay, where a general strike. It was a coal miner strike. Is what it says elsewhere. They ended up derailing the service. Okay, and the other one was another derailment, and let me see if I can find that now. So we've got an 11th of May in Wikipedia, right, which isn't technically right. Now let me find and show you this real quick. Okay, so not only do we have this connection back to the Golden Spike now with the 10th of May, because if we read this person's, I guess it's I don't know, comment on Facebook. It says on the 10th of May 1926, okay, striking coal miners derailed the Flying Scotsman. Okay, nobody was hurt, or rather nobody was killed, and I think one person hurt their leg from what I was reading elsewhere. It was the Merry Hampton that was pulling the train, okay, that was doing the service at that time. Okay, so the Merry Hampton was the one that was pulling the train, pulling the Flying Scotsman service. Number 60066, and it's called Merry Hampton. Okay, so not only do we have the numerologically the number 666 in there for the numerology, okay. Not only do we have that, but we also have the name Merry Hampton. Okay. Now I know we're all on the merry-go-round right now, but Mary, Mary, M-A-R-Y, and Mary and Merry, and that's the way you get when you indulge in the system. You know, you drink a lot, you get drunk on what the system gives you, what the Matrix gives you, and you get merry. Okay. And again, you know, depending on how you want to look at that reference, merry. Okay. We're stuck on the merry-go-round now. We need to get off that thing, that constant loop. Okay, we're loopers. We're looping. We've gone loopy. Okay. And Hampton, well, initially when I saw Hampton, I'm thinking Hampton Court. Okay, the Palace by the Water. Okay, that's my, and I'm thinking, yeah, that's exactly where we're stuck. We're stuck in Hampton Court, the Palace by the Water. Got a famous maze as well. I've been in that maze. So it's interesting with the reference back to The Shining with the famous maze. Again, Hampton Court. That's what I was thinking of when I saw Hampton. But of course, Hampton means, I looked this up. What have we got up here? Oh, there. Hang on a minute. We'll go through some of these tabs here real quick as well. But Hampton Court, Wiki Dicky gives us a farm by a bend of a river, and I thought that was interesting as well, with like the Matrix farm, the thing that's farming our time and energy. The farm by a bend of a river. Yeah, there's a bend right there where Billy Idol was doing his concert there at the Hoover Dam. So I thought that was interesting with Hampton. Also, Hampton Wick is Cockney rhyming slang for the dick. Okay, and what was the other thing with Hampton? Just an enclosure, just a small village. okay, without a church. I thought that was interesting that they made the reference there that it was too small to have a church. And of course, you know, that place that the Matrix, it no longer has a church. It's the corrupted temple that is no longer a church anymore. It's no longer a place of balance anymore. Okay, it's no longer a place where God resides anymore. So I thought that was really interesting with the name Hampton, and also with the ham, the pork reference, and Hamilton on the $10 bill as well, with that reference, with the dam destruction scene on that bill as well. So I was just like nuts. It's just completely crazy. And then here we go. Oh, the 24. This had to do with some of the passenger numbers on some of the stuff on the Flying Scotsman crash. I believe there was a 42 in there, but this also with Jupiter, with the train named Jupiter as well. And then when we had I think it was this one, yeah, it was 420 passengers on the Goswick crash, which is the one where 28 died, which of course is a mirror 52 as well, and of course injured 65, of course, with the coronation. So I mean, and then you can even look at the coordinates, just mental. But the thing that stood out to me was the 126 on the numerology for the crash date of October the 26th, which again, completely mental, because this ties into a little local thing that happened, which was let me see, I got it up here somewhere. I'm sure no. Oh yeah, state report. This is it. Springfield News. Okay, this is local for me. I've been on this train, I don't know how many times, at Silver Dollar City. Okay, for English people, Silver Dollar City in Branson, Missouri, is a theme park, place where you can go do big rides and stuff. And again, the idea of the merry-go-round. But Silver Dollar, of course, again, that's the thing we're stuck in. We're stuck in the silver dollar of the moon. So the references are real thick here with this, because they call it the Frisco. I guess it's Frisco. I don't know how you pronounce that. Frisco Silver Dollar Line. Okay, like San Francisco. Okay, so there's no, again with the reference back to San Francisco there, and back to the Future with that line. Potentially leading to San Francisco. There's other people that have done decodes on that stuff. And I'm thinking actually 88 Finis Temporis has done one on that as well. But yeah, look at when this train derails. They had a little derailment, okay? October the 26th! You can't write this stuff, I'm telling you. It's just absolutely mental. And, I mean, do you think this is staged at this point in time? You think the people in the smoky room with the cigars going, all sat around the table, said, "Well, we need to do another derailment." Yeah, and I know people will be shouting at the screen about the big derailment with the big old black cloud of noxious, toxic fumes there, but for me, this little local reference, it's completely mental, October the 20th. But do you think those people are sat around the table say, well, we need to do another one? Silver Dollar City. Yeah, I've been there before. Let's derail that train. I've been on that thing, and I'll tell you what, this is something that you wouldn't be surprised happened. The thing wobbles backwards and forwards so much going down them tracks. And what I'm guessing is the way you get on that train is usually most of the kids sit onto the inside, because there's a show that's one side you load from and you get back off that same side, okay? So as you're sat on the train, you're loading on the left-hand side of the train, okay? And so all the big people are going to sit on one side of the train, and all the smaller little kids are going to be on the inside where they can't fall off the train, okay? And I'm thinking to myself, it's no surprise this thing bloody flipped over, because you go along them tracks and you're wobbling all over the place, right? It's like probably like being in India on a railroad, and you've got all the heavy people on one side of the train. It's no wonder the thing flipped off. Plus, it's a narrow gauge train with a real fairly wide carriage on it. So but these things happen, and it's interesting to look at the numbers. I don't think this is guys in the boardroom saying, let's go do a derailment today on October the 26th so we can match up with the Flying Scotsman derailment. Okay, that's just me. What else did I want to say? So that's just a little local thing for today. Not for today, sorry, for the 26th. But something else that was local for me to do with the 10th was the Pitcher tornado, May the 10th. This is Pitcher, Oklahoma. Okay, this is a place that's not too far from me. I've driven through it a few times on my way to places. It's basically a ghost town. Okay, look at the name Pitcher. Okay, Pitcher is the jug that holds something, the water jug, if you like. This place is a derelict ghost town. Okay, so there's a metaphor there for what happened in this place. Again, I'm not sure if they were coal mining down there or what they were mining actually out of Pitcher, but there's a huge amount of coal mining in the area. Okay, and so there's huge piles of debris and God knows what else down there. It's a toxic. It's one of these places that they've said you can't live because it's so toxic, basically. And I think there are people living down there, but not very many. I mean, it really is a ghost town. And to have this tornado on May the 10th go through there, this is back in 2008. And then it went on to, this is something that was on the radio this morning. I wouldn't have, there's no way I would have recalled any of this, even though I can remember it happening at the time now. There's no way I'd recall this, and think, oh yeah, it was May the 10th when that happened. Oh, well, look how that ties in. But that tornado goes on. I don't know if it dissipates and reestablishes or what the hell happens. But on the radio, they say it did something, and it ends up hitting in Missouri. They give the reference of 43 Highway and Iris Road. Iris Road. If there's not a reference to the eye and actually seeing, and the Vesica Pisces, the iris, oh man, you just wonder. And the 43 again, and how that refers back to how we've looked at that number before, and balanced number, and the 3-day resurrection, the 4-day resurrection. It's just mental, the little references. So I mean, like, when something doesn't happen, like I say, oh, look out for this date because something might happen on this day or whatever. Basically most of my stuff is now around either Madonna or the Hoover Dam. The problem is I don't want people to miss the point of what the actual story that's being told there is. It's a story, a metaphor about coming out of the control system, about freeing yourself. Okay, because if you're just waiting for something to happen, then you might have a problem. Okay, because it might never happen, and then you've just sat around waiting for Jesus to come and save you, when actually what you needed to do was you needed to align with the ideas of Jesus in the first place, to become like Jesus, to become the free man again. And so when I do these decodes and things, I think sometimes maybe I don't make that point enough, that it's really actually about looking at the metaphor and then taking that into your own life, and taking those ideas and actually kind of running with that idea, because there's not somebody that's going to come and save you, so to speak, and come and hold your hand. It's about just taking responsibility and doing it yourself. And that might not be, it might be 1 year, instead of buying tomatoes from the store. Maybe you grow your own tomatoes, you know. Maybe it's just something little like that, one step in the right direction, you know. Do you want to build a stairway? What's the heaven you're building a stairway to? Are you building a stairway to a false heaven? Yeah? Are you going up the technological stairway to somewhere that's not true? Or are you doing a step every day in the right direction? You know, back to God, you know, Jacob's ladder. Depends, doesn't it? It depends on the way you look at the metaphor. There's always going to be two ways of looking at a metaphor. Okay? You can look at the negative aspect and get stuck and trapped by the lie but get worried by the lie, or you can take a positive step and just follow the truthful path. Okay? So it's, you know, it's one of those things I wish sometimes but sometimes I wish I would spend more time explaining that, because I've no doubt there's people sat and they'll watch my video and they'll be like, wow, nothing happened on that day. Look, that guy was wrong. He said that something was going to happen. That's not the point of the video. The point of the video is to look at the metaphor that is there, okay, and say, okay, I understand now. I got to change something in my life. I got to start doing something better than what I was doing before. I got to stop relying on that technology all the time. Okay, because the more we place our reliance on others, the more trapped we become. Okay, I'm not saying you can't help people out, or you can't help other people out. That's not what I'm saying there either. I'm saying you need to take responsibility for your own problems as well. You can't just, or not necessarily problems, but your own well-being. If you place that responsibility with other people, then you are subject to what those other people want you to do, what hoops they want you to jump through. Anyway, enough waffle. So I've gone through, I mean, some of this stuff, you know, the Jupiter, the 24, the crashes, the two crashes with the Flying Scotsman, okay. Interesting numbers, you know, the coordinates 55, 705, the 57 in there of the completion, and even in the 1.927, we've got the 127 of the towers, and we've got the 219 in there as well. So again, it's just mental. I want to show you something else with a number jump. I wonder if I've got it right here. Yeah, this was a Madonna number jump, which is the 98, which again is the Queen's death date, September the 8th. If we go back 98 days from Madonna's birthday, we're at today, May the 10th. So I thought that was interesting, because of course Madonna ties in with the who's that girl in this scene, you know what I mean. What else do I want to do? This 148 that's on this train here, okay, the one that Johnny Depp is on in the Lone Ranger. Okay, again, these are the two opposite trains again, because this is like the 119 train, okay, with the straight up and down funnel chimney, and the Jupiter has the kind of triangular chimney, okay, the cone-shaped chimney. Now, 148, I had a number jump. Where is it? That was it. I went from May the 9th, and I went 148 days, and look where it took me. October the 4th, the number on the clock tower in Back to the Future. Okay? Again, the numbers that surround this damn thing, this damn opening, okay? Here's 104, another 104 here, a 1004. If you just got to put the zeros in there, okay? So 14 and 14 on either side of this 59, okay? So I don't know. I really, I'm kind of all over the place now. I would definitely still be watching today and tomorrow um, for something to happen. When we had the Donald Trump thing, when they played the Trump card yesterday with the $5 million that he's got to pay out for his illegal whatever he did, whatever he did, and he was found guilty of the sexual harassment, defamation, or what the hell ever it was. But it was 5 million was the point, and it's a reference to the metaphysical, coming back to the metaphysical. Okay, so I don't know. Again, with the 1004, with that day of the year, of course, the 88 days. Again, it's important numbers again, and we've done all the links. I think I've covered near enough every number jump. Well, I don't, not every number jump, but I've done a couple of good number jumps that connect back the 104, the 1004 um, back to the 29th of January. So I don't really want to go back through all that old stuff. But it was just, I just wanted to talk about the Flying Scotsman, that link. I'll have to ask my dad, but I'm wondering if he's been on that. I'm wondering, he used to do the mail on a train when he was younger. I don't know if it was the Flying Scotsman or not. I don't think it was. I don't know if he ever went on it or not. I don't know if they had a mail service on there or not. I'll have to ask him again when I speak to him at the weekend. But that would be interesting if he's done the mail on that train before. I don't know. What else did I have on this? Oh, they did a. Here's another little thing. They did a non-stop service, and the first, I guess, it says the inaugural non-stop train service from London with the actual loco that was named the Flying Scotsman as well, with the Flying Scotsman train, was done on May the 1st, 1928. So again with the 28 reference with the 58 mirrored. God, I don't know what else to say about this, to be quite honest. So I'm going to check out the Lone Ranger at some point, a 7.3 reference, and a 1.49 running time. Interesting with that. I couldn't get over that. So when I saw that, I was just like, that's mental. Absolutely mental. And then when I saw the actual train, here's the last thing here. Check this out, right? Comparing train crash. You know what this is? Right here. This looks just like the Flying Scotsman here. And it's, I don't know if I've got it up here. Mission Impossible. I'm not going to look it up. But it's Mission Impossible 7. And I don't know if it's already come out or it's going to be coming out later on in the year. I'm not sure. I could have sworn I saw a 2023 date with it, but I don't know what so there's somebody can maybe talk about, maybe put in the comments about this one, because I'm not going to get around to doing it any time within the next few days. But this is Mission Impossible 7, I believe. Okay. So this will be interesting to see what the hell is going on in this scene, and with the numbers on this as well. They've obviously filmed this point already. If they haven't done the whole film yet, they've obviously filmed this portion of it. I'm going to leave it at that. So if somebody can put some comments on that, it'd be great. In fact, back to the Fifth Element as well. Right at the start of the Fifth Element, where she walks out on the building, Lelu, or Lilu, whatever the hell her name is. There's a train that shoots by her. It's going straight down, which is interesting as well. It's something that I've not meant. Just There's just tons of train references. To try and go through every single train reference is just mental, really, when you think about it. Yeah, so when she's reborn, basically, and initially steps out in the building, that train flies down by her. So that's interesting. Um, what else have I got? Oh yeah, this also is in. They've got one of the film clips. This is happening in one of the film clips as well. So we're back to the Montparnasse, or whatever the hell it's called, Paris train crash here as well. I'm going to leave it there. I think I've really covered everything. The only thing I'm going to say is, like, anything. Basically, we've gone from, really from May the 1st now. These have all been super interesting dates, super interesting numbers, and all the way up to probably the 13th is going to be interesting in terms of potential signs that you might see, for sure. All the way up to the 13th, yeah. I'm going to leave it there, okay? You can draw your own conclusions about, today being Wednesday Adams, okay? The Adam on Wednesday. I don't know what to say. I'm going to leave it there. Hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you on the next one. And I'm sorry about doing the videos this way, but the reason why I'm doing it is because I can download a video and do it a super quick compared with having to put it into Movie Maker, which takes forever. So I'm just short tracking it, and I'll just put the title, and maybe I'll make a title for this video, a thumbnail for it, but I probably won't. It's just going to be me talking again, and I hope you enjoyed, and that's why we're just cutting straight in from me clicking on OSB here, or whatever the hell this thing's called, OBS. It just saves me a lot of time. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you on the next one. All right, cheers, bye.